Well, today, the sound of horsepower will echo from the rafters at Motorsports Park because it's monster trucks with an appetite for destruction twisting the night away in the birthplace of the blues. This is Trucks and Tractor Power, featuring the superstars of the four-wheel and off-road Jamboree Nationals Monster Truck Challenge. Welcome to Trucks and Tractor Power on the Nashville Network. Today we're at Memphis Motorsports Park for the 6th annual four-wheel and off-road Jamboree Spring Nationals. Hi everybody, I'm Gary Lee alongside Army Armstrong. And Army, Memphis may be recognized for the blues and spicy barbecue, but it's also a hotbed for high-performance components.
You know, Gary, some people have the image that Southern California is the only place they make speed parts. Well, that's wrong, because a lot of speed parts come out of Memphis. About 20 miles from where we're standing, you got such manufacturers as TCI torque converters, competition cam people, racing head service, Nite camshaft people. What I'm telling you is there's a lot of horsepower that comes out of Memphis. And if you want to see that horsepower used to 100% full potential, buy a ticket to an off-road Jamboree and see these MTRA monster trucks. They will definitely thunder for you.
Side-by-side monster truck competition coming up next. Stay with us. Welcome back to Memphis, Tennessee. Today, a very unique 12-truck format. 12 trucks in the field, 10 by invitation, 2 through open qualifications. Barefoot will take on Bad Medicine in round 1, then it's Snakebite against Nightlife. Also in round 1, the Carolina Crusher against Big Boss, an open qualifier, and Taurus will take on Nightmare. Then it's King Krunch and No Problem, and Bigfoot against the Chevrolet USA 1.
Well, Gary, all the trucks have come to the Memphis area, this tremendous complex, to see who can be the strongest truck in the circuit. We've got national champions from 2 or 3 different organizations. We're going to be telling you about them today. Some new names, such as the Bad Medicine truck we're looking at now. A lot of the guys are coming, laying all the cards on the table, trying to take the big win out of Memphis. Barefoot, Bad Medicine, first race coming at you, Gary.
2 sets of jumps. There's been a problem this weekend with that second jump, the ramp going over that second set of cars, and it's all Barefoot.
Chevrolet Barefoot goes on to take the win. The Dodge Bad Medicine having his share of problems, and it comes back, Gary Lee. It looks to me like Chassis is going to tell the story today.
Well, once again, Barefoot in the far lane gets the good start. Watch that Chassis work as he starts over that second jump, pitches to the right just a bit, and takes the big victory. Another truck coming up is one you have seen before, but a new driver in the cockpit. Wayne Sposanek drives Nightlife. He purchased the truck from Dave Wyzorik, so he's in the cockpit of that Chevrolet.
Yeah, but Gary, one of the big stories in Memphis is the Colt Cobra truck out of Culver Key, Colorado. Nobody knows anything at all about this truck, this driver, or anything. He came from out of nowhere, and he just laid the cards on the table. He said, I'm not afraid of anybody. I am the best monster truck in the world. But that talk, this is racing. Let's see what's going to happen.
Well, talk is cheap. Right now they have to talk with that right foot. And Wayne is out in front, and that 91 Chevy Nightlife will take the victory.
Boy, the Cobra kid's going back to Colorado with his tail between his legs after that one.
Yeah, he's been shooting his mouth off somewhat, but he can't produce.
Meanwhile, the Nightlife truck lives up to its billing. This kid just bought the truck, sat down in the driver's seat, and proved that Dave Wyzorik did build a good truck. He says the truck's very easy to handle, and
that's got to be tough, though, for Dave to sell a truck and watch somebody else drive it. But we hear that Dave has another project, and he will be back. Army, let's go back to you and talk to Wayne.
Well, Wayne, I can tell by that run you're not afraid of snakes one bit, are you?
Nah, I don't want to get snake bit.
Pushing it out the back door looked good. Can he make any changes for the next round? He's going to stay the same.
We really had to learn how to drive the track again because they changed the track between qualifying and first round. So I probably throttled a little bit too hard on the other end, but we'll get it sorted out.
You're going to be in the next round. We'll see you then.
Thank you.
As Wayne walks away back to his truck, we get ready for our next pairing, a brand new truck with Gary Porter, the Carolina Crusher. I like this paint job as he checks out the competition. Look at those eyes.
Gary, you know, no matter what form of motorsport's in, there's such intensity at this point in time. They started the engines, whether you're coming off the number 4 corner at Raceway Park or you're rolling into the lanes in Memphis, everybody's pumped. Tim Hall will be going in the other lane against the Chevrolet.
This is the Big Boss against the Carolina Crusher.
Well, whole shot by the Carolina Crusher. Porter drilled that tree.
Look at that suspension work. He was almost
he's in trouble, Gary. He's going over.
He's going over, yes! This is a very short runoff area, really, for the speed they can pick up, and he climbs out. He's going to be all right, but we'll see how much damage was done to that brand new Carolina Crusher.
You know, Gary, I made an observation here. He's running one of the new suspension trucks, meaning it, you know, it's softer. And the roll of the truck was almost like a sprint car roller with a wing on it. The suspension actually absorbed some of the impact, wouldn't you say?
Well, it looked like he almost got upside down when he came over that second set of jumps. He was tipped over to the left. He brought it back upright. Let's watch again. Now watch as he negotiates the second jump. He comes down and almost pitches off to the driver's side to the left, right here. He brings it back down, but he never really gains control. He's on the brakes now, trying to stop it. When he turns to avoid that guardrail down there, he rolls it on over.
For all intents and purposes, when he turned it to the left, he high-sided it. A motorcycle terminology, he high-sided it, and it just went over on him. But the soft suspension, I think, helped him.
A brand new race truck, a monster truck with fiberglass, and look at the damage. We're not sure how bad the superstructure was damaged, but perhaps we'll have a chance to Army to talk to Gary Porter.
Gary, real quick, let me grab you. First of all, you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Do you have any idea what caused it?
Well, I hit that second set of cars a little bit crooked. I started to let out of it, and I didn't know where the other guy was at. And I said, well, I got to go for the win. And, you know, I should have backed out and turned it, you know, a little bit and slowed down, but I didn't. And the truck landed hard on the left side, and it started coming over this way, and I seen the pole, and I hit the brakes a little bit too hard, I think.
We're glad you're okay. We'll see you another day.
Okay, thank you.
So Gary Porter will have some work to do now as he surveys the damage on Carolina Crusher. A good crowd on hand, bathed in sunshine here in the state of Tennessee as they pull the Crusher off the racetrack. More to come. The show and shine area near the manufacturer's midway here at the four-wheel and off-road Jamboree Spring Nationals in Memphis, Tennessee.
Gary, right now we're going to have an opportunity to see the old and the new. The old will be represented by Steve Hess. He'll be going against Jack Willman. Willman in the right lane. New suspension, the softer suspension. Now, Hess is a real strong truck in the far lane, but it's an older style truck. You should be able to see on this run the difference in the suspension. It should be softer on the right side, bouncy on the left side. Let's see what happens.
Well, Willman cut a good light, had the big advantage from the very start, but look at that old truck bounce.
Yeah, the stiff suspension is just not the way to go. They say they want to build them now to where they act like a sponge. They actually absorb the impact.
Well, watch from this camera angle the suspension work in the newer truck on the near lane.
See, Hess is bounced in the background already. Meanwhile, Taurus, he's already gone to the final jump.
So young Jack Willman will advance. He finds someone he knows up in the crowd, and he'll advance on to round 2 competition. Here's a good look at John Moore and No Problem out of Lafayette, Tennessee.
In the previous run, we were talking about the chassis differences. That Scott Stevens will be lining up in the other lane against Moore. The difference here is the length of the truck, okay? Stevens in the far lane, as he's being checked over by his crew chief, is a longer truck. That should be to his advantage. No Problem, lane closest to us, shorter wheelbase, a quicker truck, if you will. Yeah,
right there, Stevens has the advantage, but goes almost out of bounds on one side. Now he almost goes out of bounds on the left side. He was all over that lane.
He's still trying to shut down. Okay, he gets her shut off, okay.
But watch again. First Army, he's off to his right. Now he comes over the second jump, and he heads to his left.
They're just launching in all kind of different ways today here in Memphis. But the longer truck is definitely the way to go. Now, speaking of launching, a driver that gets psyched up, you're looking at him, Steve Wilkie.
Steve Wilkie in the Chevrolet USA 1, and he goes against the Ford. Bigfoot with Andy Brass. Round 1 competition, and it won't get any better than this shootout right here.
For years, everybody's had a favorite. If you like Chevrolet, you pull for the white truck. If you like Ford, you pull for the blue truck. This race could be worth the price of admission. Everything's going to go down right now. What happened? Brass drills him on the line. Wilkie's going to pull back. Brass is not going to let him.
There is nobody off the line any better than Andy Brass. He cuts the best line of anybody here this weekend.
It's amazing how quick that 13,000-pound truck reacts to that young man.
Look again. The competition is over right there as they go over that first set of cars.
He lands after the first jump. The truck settles. It goes straight, and he drives it literally out the back door, Gary.
Everybody's scratching their head, including Fred Schaefer there. Let's talk to Andy Brass.
Andy, you're going to be going against Scott Stevens next round.
Yeah, it is. Now, I'm kind of watching Scott run a little bit. I see he took the other lane. We're taking the left lane here today. I see some guys having some problems over here, so we figured, well, we're going to try it because it's going to be a lane that everybody ends up in. And think I might just go ahead and throw Scott in the right. The right lane does look a little worse than the left, so we're just going to kind of play it easy and throw a little lane change today on these guys.
All right, let's get ready now for round 2 competition here at the Memphis Motorsports Park. It will be Barefoot taking on Nightlife in round 2. Also in round 2, the Carolina Crusher, if he can continue, against Taurus. And we'll have King Krunch, as just mentioned, against Andy Brass in Bigfoot.
Well, Gary, the quick winner this round automatically goes into the final. It'll be important.
Well, they're taping up the Carolina Crusher, so hopefully Gary Porter will be able to continue here in Memphis, Tennessee, as a number of crew members from other trucks are also helping out. And Gary is hard at work. A lot of glory in driving, not a lot of glory in working on them. As we take a look at Fred Schaefer in Barefoot out of Pontoon Beach, Illinois. Barefoot against Nightlife. There is Wayne Smozanik.
He's out of Jupiter, Florida. He's a new driver to the sport. Wayne's doing an awfully good job. But I want you to notice the front window right now. The camera shows it to you on Barefoot. He's hitting so hard he actually popped the window out.
And Schaefer has a problem.
Hey, Gary, Wayne wins. Wayne wins.
The newcomer will go on to the semifinals. 8.17 the time to beat now, because somebody will get a bye to the finals.
Gary, that's an upset of all upsets in the sport. This guy had quick qualifying time of the day, had the field covered, but he's going on a trailer.
Well, the newcomer, Wayne, continues on into our semifinals. Why don't you run down and get a word with Fred, find out what the problem was.
Word we got is you were down a cylinder when you went to the starting line.
As far as I know, there's nothing wrong with the truck. It's a kill box. You know, it's new, and they had to have them for this race. They've been having problems with them, and the kill box looks like it put me out.
Okay, because the engine, I was standing half track. It was just a clean cut like you turned the ignition off.
That's exactly what happened to it, and they ain't going to do anything about it. It's my way of losing a race, I guess.
You don't have any recourse at all?
Well, they said I was out. I mean, what are you supposed to do? I come out here and I get fast time 2 days in a row, and this is what happens to me, so that's all I can do.
So a frustrated Fred Schaefer becomes a spectator, but this man, Wayne Smozanik, will continue on in competition. Another truck that they hope to see in competition is the Carolina Crusher, and there is Gary Porter in that bright yellow hat working under the race truck. And here is Scott Stevens in the Auto Value King Krunch. And his competition will be Andy Brass in Bigfoot 8.
Well, Gary, as we've traveled all over the country, anybody that follows this sport knows these guys have gone tooth and nail after each other. Well, what's more appropriate in Memphis than, as we've said it before, the Battle of the Blues? Who's going to win it, Ford or Chevrolet?
Well, it looks like Andy Brass in the Ford right now has the measure, and he'll take the victory. Oh, that is a combination of equipment and driver.
Yeah, there was a rhythm set up there. Andy Brass has just got a seat of the pants feel for driving that monster truck.
The time right there is 7.57. 7.57. That will be the quickest time thus far.
Hey, but look who's coming back in, Gary. The Carolina Crusher, yeah.
And listen to the fans. They love it. They can certainly appreciate the work that was done to get that one back in competition. On the replay, look at Scott Stevens. He was in trouble before he ever got to that first jump. And the measure of victory going to Andy Brass in Bigfoot. But watch as we continue on. Scott Stevens almost runs out of runoff space. The shutdown area almost not long enough. He almost collects that guardrail. Let's go down and talk to Andy Brass.
Let me ask you a real quick question. What do you think about this Chevrolet Barefoot not getting past this round? He's upset. Says there's a malfunctioning electrical system. No problem to him whatsoever. He's ready to go racing, but there's a problem somewhere.
Yeah, he is. You know, a lot of the guys are already, and they're hyped to go racing and stuff. Fred runs one of the newer Linko transmissions, you know, and to me that's what it looked like. Had me come off the line, his Linko just went into neutral. If it would have been an electrical problem, I think his truck would have died and still stayed running.
Andy makes an interesting point. Once you hit that kill switch, you can't restart the truck until you reset both the truck and the kill box itself.
That's exactly right, Gary.
We take a look at Gary Porter. They've gone to work. That truck is back in competition, the Carolina Crusher.
Gary, you've been around racing a long time. Things like this always happen, don't they? There's something that gets these guys going, and the Crusher is trying to pull the Cinderella story of the day, but Taurus is not going to be reading the same book that the Crusher is.
Jack Willman Jr., the far lane. Gary Porter, the near lane. And it looks like the youngster may have the advantage. Yes, Willman will win it.
Gary, did you see how far he cleared the last set of cars? And look at the time.
That will give him the bye to the finals. 7.56 is there with a big thumbs up He runs over to congratulate Junior on his victory over Gary Porter and Carolina Crusher.
You know, Gary, I noticed something else about that team. Those guys run everywhere they go. Watch this. They won't walk anywhere. Watch this. Got to run. There you go. What'd I say?
Just a tad animated as well.
Hey, that's why they're good, I guess. They're going to the final. That's all that counts.
I'm wondering, though, Army, if there's a problem with Taurus. Because of all that animation, they acted like there might be something they had to rectify before the championship round. Let's talk to the driver, young Jack.
Everything's happening real quick. What's going on out there?
I broke some more stuff off the back suspension. It's bottoming out, and my dad, which is the owner of the truck, he's taking it back to get the repairs done for the next round.
Okay, what he's talking about, I'm going to let you go. You can take off. The situation is the pit area is about a quarter of a mile away. He's got to come back in the station lanes to get ready to go. Dad's taking the truck back. Everybody's running around here. It's typical thrashing. We're getting ready to go into the finals. Hang on.
Well, young Jack will go to the finals. He has a bye from the semifinals, which are actually coming up next. Stay with us. Army Armstrong and Gary Lee in Memphis for the 6th annual Pendoliner, Bedliner, 4-wheel and off-road Jamboree Spring Nationals from Memphis Motorsports Park. We are ready for semifinal action. Of course, Taurus with the bye to the finals. We now look at Nightlife against Bigfoot.
Gary, we were talking earlier about Cinderella stories. This Nightlife could be the Cinderella story. We know Andy Brass has been here before, but this kid coming out, like we say, let Wayne do it. Well, Wayne's doing a pretty good job today to be a new driver in this truck.
But there's nothing like experience in the cockpit, and this young man right here from St. Louis, Andy Brass, has the equipment, he has the experience, and he has the talent. It would be a tall order for Nightlife to beat Bigfoot in this one.
We're going to find out real quick.
It's all over right
Final
there.
Whoa, wait a minute. Look here. Okay, Brass comes back. Boy, he's just got a natural feel for that truck. It's amazing that you actually have something called finesse with a 13,000-pound truck. But you look at it, Gary, how he smooths it back in right there.
Andy Brass could conduct a driving clinic with Bigfoot 8. Well, there's the man that lost that round, but we'll see more of him in the future. Let's go down right now, and there's a big smile, and talk to young Jack Willman before the finals.
Okay, Jack, you and Bigfoot in the final, you've been there before. Can you handle him?
I'm going to give it my best shot. You know, he's a tough competitor, and number 8, I think, is our best Bigfoot, and I'm going to give it my best shot.
So it will be Chevrolet versus Ford in the championship. The fans are ready here in Memphis. These 4-wheel and off-road Jamboree Nationals are loaded with activities for the truck enthusiasts as well as the entire family. For information, call or write the Special Events Company. Well, the youngster, it's almost David and Goliath, but there is a look at Jack Willman Jr. in Taurus, the GMC, a truck owned by his father. He will take on Andy Brass and Bigfoot. The road to the final, Taurus defeated Nightmare and the Carolina Crusher, and then he had a bye to the finals, whereas Bigfoot defeated USA 1, King Krunch, and Nightlife. And there's a look at Bigfoot 8.
There's an old saying in motorsports, Gary Lee, and you know it as well as I do. The difference between men and boys is the price of their toys. And ironically, the 2 biggest toy manufacturers in the country are sponsoring each of the competitors. The Tonka toy, it'll be on the side of the Taurus truck. The Mattel Hot Wheel, it goes on the side of Bigfoot. The classic Chevrolet, Ford, new driver, manufacturers. Everything for a Hollywood motion picture script is going to be on the line right here. This could be the best monster truck race ever. Side by side, a half-track, Gary Lee.
It's still side by side, almost a photo finish.
I can't call
Who won it? I can't tell. Who won that thing?
That could be. We could have just seen the best monster truck race ever. Side by side, neither kid would blink. Nobody wanted to back off on the other guy. What a race here in Memphis.
You have to be impressed, Army, with this youngster, Jack Willman Jr. He went up against the most formidable of foes in Bigfoot, and he may have beaten him. Let's watch right here. Oh, it looks like, I won't call it.
We're going to let the track crew tell us who won that. I don't know. I've seen a lot. I've been around a lot. That's the best I've ever seen, Gary Lee.
Well, who are they going to give it to? Watch this. Let's watch from this angle as Jack Willman Sr. takes a look, and I can't tell from that angle.
Oh, that's the third
he
time.
seems to think that perhaps his son has won. As we take a look one more time, Army, see if you can't get those 2 drivers together to get their comments, as once again it is too close from our vantage point to call.
Okay, the word we get, Gary, coming over the headset, winner goes to the Chevrolet by 4 thousandths of a second. Congratulations to you.
Yeah, it was a tough run, you know, Bigfoot 8, you know, it's the toughest truck Bigfoot's got, and it's tough to beat.
Let me bounce over here to Andy. Andy, congratulations on that. Was super. I played this game a long time, gentlemen. That had to be the best monster truck race I've ever seen.
Yeah, that was a real close race, probably the hardest one I've had to run. Taurus's new truck it's hard to beat, and I knew we was going to have to pull a good light on him to get him, and all the way down through there it was close, and I knew it was going to be close at the end.
Well, one of the questions we had at the beginning of the show, have the new technology trucks arrived? I think the answer is yes, because they were both in the final today. Gary?
Let's take a ride with Jack Willman Jr. in perhaps the best monster truck race ever. He's on the hammer hard over the first set of jumps as he defeats Andy Brass in Bigfoot. Our congratulations to Jack Willman Jr. Well, for Army Armstrong, I'm Gary Lee. That wraps it up. Thanks for joining us here in Memphis, Tennessee. We'll see you next week for another edition of Trucks and Tractor Power. Now, here's news about an exciting new home video from Diamond P Sports. It's time to shake, battle, and roll. Call 1-800-453-2800 for 70 minutes of awesome air-grabbing rooster tail spring action from the worlds of monster truck racing, truck and tractor pulling, and mud bogging. Relive the great moments of thrilling side-by-side monster truck racing. Feel the ground shake from the raw power of truck and tractor pulling. And get down and dirty as the best mud racers battle the slime for the fastest time. All this incredible action on one video cassette just by calling 1-800-453-2800. That's 1-800-453-2800. Strap up for a ride on the wild side. It's time to shake, battle, and roll.